So that now brings us to item 6, Innovation and Sustainable Development Committee. Vicky, you made some comments on this. Was there anything further you wanted to add by introduction?
I'm just wondering if Jamie would like to. It came out of the Development Forum, or Aaron might like to. It's basically about working with property owners so that we can make it easy for land that is vacant to be used in the interim for car parking, and to make that as easy as possible for property owners to work with the council to make it happen. It all seemed entirely logical to the committee.
Thank you. Jamie, was there anything that you wanted to add?
No, Vicky's, one thing, and that was just really, you'll recall obviously the 1 hour free parking initiative, which there were time pressures around that for obvious reasons, so that went directly to council. This followed the normal channels of going through Vicky's committee because it wasn't so under the pump with timing. But it's really the second prong to the approach, is that we're not just going to do one thing and then assume that everything else will fix itself. So we do need to communicate and work with private operators, and this is that second part of it. Yeah, I've probably got a question around B. I just don't know how, if I can actually take this opportunity to almost ask Aaron at the same time, is with B, how if opportunities for making long stay parking available for short-term stays after hours and on weekends. Just wonder if there's contractual issues with that, because the nature of permanent parks is that people have leased a permanent park. So I don't know how that one's going to work, but if you've got any comment on it, that would be great. So thanks for letting me double the intro into a question. Yep,
great. That was a nice sequential move into questions. So yours is the first question. Aaron.
Okay, so I think, Jamie, your question, it would probably have to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis, because there's such a wide range of these off-street parks around the city under various different ownership and lease arrangements, so there's no simple answer to that. But I'm sure if you cast our net wide across the city, that there'll be some things that we can do, and there'll be some good opportunities here for making some of those sites available when they're not being used during the day, especially for things like, entertainment activities, restaurants and bars and what have you. Yeah.
Thank you. Further questions, Dion?
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask if you could explain, I know the report talks a little bit about it, but methods for providing better standard of amenity. You know that I'm a bit of a stickler around the state of the gravel pits in the central city, so maybe we can just sort of let us all know what actually work's going on.
Yep. Yes. So there's already quite a lot of work going on in that space. We understand that. What some of the things that are occurring around the city aren't conducive to an ideal recovery environment. So the main players, we've been working quite closely with them on resurfacing some of their sites, looking at whether those sites need to be surrendered or converted from, say, commuter parking to short stay, where there's high demand for short stay, and in areas where there has already been establishment of more permanent parking facilities, that those sites are surrendered or used for something else, to try and encourage redevelopment on those sites as well. So we are going through some tidy up exercises, and that should start to become obvious out in the city now.
Thank you. Glenn and then Pauline.
Mine was a similar question, so...
So you're happy?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Pauline.
Yeah, just to clarify for me, because I'm not familiar with this, but this will involve paid parking, I suppose, that people will pay for it. And is there any mention in here of using car parks, let's say something like, ECAN that's not used at night, as unpaid parking, but just become available at night time for the restaurants and things down there? Could that be rolled into this in any way? Or?
Yeah, I think that's part of...
it's in here, is it?
Yeah, it is part of...
Well, that's good.
Yep.
So that would be an unpaid part of it. Yeah, that's just a sharing spaces. That'd be good.
Thank you. Any further questions? So Vicky, you're happy to move this? Jamie, happy to second? Okay, so moved and seconded. Is there any debate?
I'm really happy that this is actually going to start helping towards tidying up the central city, especially in those those gravel pit car parks, as the city sort of starts to recover. And actually it's looking really good. There's a good vibe around there, but bringing down the vibe is those gravel pit car parks. And 3 or 4 weeks ago we did a clean up in the central city with Keep Christchurch Beautiful, and the most filthiest places in the central city were the the gravel pit car parks in terms of rubbish and stuff like that. So I'm really pleased that as part of this that some work is going to be going on with talking to those owners and the operators directly to actually clean those up, get the amenity better so that actually people can start to feel a good vibe in the central city. I mean, I think that's just a really win-win for the city. So I'm glad to see a step moving forward in this.
Thank you. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Against? That's carried. Thank you.